Hi, my name's Kate Turnipseed. I'm here to give you a brief tour of Tailornova. Tailornova is a relatively new fashion design software that's really useful if you're trying to go from a concept to a pattern. It's not something you're looking for on a commercial basis. It is still in production. It's still patent pending. So you'll see new features probably become available after this. It also has both a free and a paid program. So there are certain things that I, as a free user of Tailornova, can't actually show you, one of which is right here. You can see that there's a 3D rendering of the dress here, and they picked a fabric and such. But that's not something I can show you as a free member. This is just a basic tour. Tailornova does have some guides on how to use their program, but I hope this gives you a nice brief little introduction. So I'm already logged in. I'm going to go ahead and click Design Now. Okay. As you see, when it pops up, there is a quick start video. You can choose to show tutorials at the startup of every single time you go to start a new pattern or anytime you open Tailornova. I still have it up. I looked through the start video. I thought it was very easy to follow, which is why I'm not going too deeply in depth about how to create certain things. So there is a lessons list here. So if you run into any problems, that's the good first place to start. They do put out their own tutorials. So I'm going to go ahead and click the X. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new design. This is just a generic untitled design. I can go ahead and start from here, but I'll show you how to start a new design. Up here is the design button. So go ahead and click that. You want to click new, and you want to click new design. So you'll see here, these are all the options they currently have available for women's wear. They have different types of dresses, tops, jumpsuits, pants, and skirts. Men's wear, they only have shirts and t-shirts. This is still in development. I'm hoping they come up with more men's wear, and I'm hoping that they come out with children's clothes. I'm not sure if that's something they're going to do, but I'm pretty sure jumpsuits is relatively new for women. And I'm pretty sure menswear only had shirts to begin with. So I think they are coming out with new stuff, but that's just purely a guess based on when I first started using this program to now. So we're going to go ahead. Let's do a dress. There's a lot of options in the dresses function. So let's go ahead and start with dresses. Again, my quick start video. And you'll see we're starting with the same dress. Now over here is a technical sketch. So you can look at both the front and the back, or you can focus on just the front or just the back. I like looking at both. And then over here is the flat pattern. So this is how you're going to visualize what you're trying to make. And this is going to be your actual sewing pattern. Two things with the sewing pattern. The first is when you get a free membership, you're allowed a certain amount of print right off the bat that's included. I think I had 2 prints for free. I'm not sure, I might be remembering that wrong, but I think I had 2 prints for free. You can print the pattern with that. So if you run out of those, you have a $14 buy pattern option, or you have a $29 per month subscribe button, which I think you can print off as many patterns and as many different sizes as you want. The second thing to be aware of is you can make this custom fit, in which they'll change the pattern to fit your shape. So I'll show you a little bit about that. I'm not sure how much custom fit it's going to let me do as a free member. It did let me do it for my last pattern, but I'm not sure if that has a limit. I'm kind of finding the limits as I run into them. So let's start playing with this over here. I always start with silhouette. I'm not sure if this is the website or my internet that's going so slow, but we're going to find out. Okay, so I definitely want to start with a floor length gown. That's my go-to, which is why it's already checked off. So looking under fabric type, we see woven or knit. I don't work much in knits, so I'm going to go ahead and click woven. fit will be a little differently if you try to make any of these patterns that are for a woven in a knit. You can't really go the other way as easily because knits stretch and wovens don't. So I'm going to go ahead and click that I want a woven, which will narrow it down from 964 to 569. So waist seam, you can choose no waist, natural waist, empire waist, or high waist. I'm just going to leave that as is. I'm not going to go through that. So if we look, there are a bunch of variations. I personally am not a huge fan of darts, so I try to avoid those. So let's do an armhole princess bodice, because why not? So now we're down to 12 items. So this one looks fun. Let's click on that one. So here we have 3 tiers, full skirt, armhole, princess bodice woven. Sounds like something from wish.com. But you'll see it appear here momentarily. There we go. So this is our front and this is our back. And these are all the pieces you need to make this current design. So this is good if you're trying to make any sort of big ball gown. You want to put a hoop under there, or we're in a fantasy challenge right now. So something else you can consider is kind of a wood nymph and do this in really light, flowy material, and that would probably be very pretty. I know that somebody was talking about doing a fairy outfit. So looking at some options for that, you could always do something like a high-low, which will be coming momentarily. Here we go. So here's a high-low. You can do something with that. And you can see that the design completely changed. But something else to consider with a fairy is you might not necessarily want a full-length skirt. You might want a knee-length skirt or even above the knee. So let's start with a knee length. So maybe something like that. For a fairy. So something else you can add if you wanted to do a fairy, and then we're going to go back to something I'm a little bit more used to doing. Okay, so it's telling me there are no ruffles for this, but you could always add a ruff to the bottom. You can change the neckline if you wanted. Not sure what would consist of a fairy-esque neckline, but they have some really cool shaped ones. Let's see. That's just kind of funky looking. Little asymmetrical top going on. In any case, this might not be exactly what you're looking for as a fairy, but it might be a good place to start. So it's just something to consider. You can see how the neckline changes things over here and on the pattern. So let's go back to silhouette. Let's just have some fun with a big poofy ball gown. Or a, let's just pretend we're making a medieval dress. Why not? Let's see, is this medievally? Here we go. So let's start with this as a basic like medieval pattern. Now this is a modern program and it is a basic program. So you're not going to get something that's actually medieval or medieval fantasy, but we can take what we are using on here to then create that. So let's take a look. Let's do a wide square neckline, if I can find it. Here, it's a deep wide square neckline. There we go. So we'll do that for our medieval neckline. So then we're going to play with the sleeves. I normally do fitted sleeves, mainly because I have 2 children and long flowy sleeves are not always the most, they're not the easiest thing to do when you're trying to hold a under 1-year-old. But this year I'm going to have 2 toddlers. So I actually could make something with a fuller sleeve if I wanted to. So I can make a full flared sleeve if I wanted. So here's a full flared sleeve. You'll see the pattern change down here. So there we go. So that would be a full flared sleeve. So then you'll get your more drapey, like medieval, romantic, medieval type of look. Again, not historically accurate types of looks, but that's not what we're doing here. We're making a fantasy dress. So we can also take a look up here and you'll see that they have different sleeve lengths. So that might be something to consider. What you could always do is do it at the elbow. And what you can do is you can have a fitted to the elbow. And then you can create a flared sleeve from there. So you can probably find a free pattern online on how to turn it into a flared sleeve. But you can also take a look here and see if this is what you're looking for, and you might just have to extend the pattern to fit. So something like that. So pretty good, but I'm looking at it and I'm going, I'm not really a big fan of this neckline with all these rounded shapes. So it's just as easy to go back into the neckline and play some more with that. So maybe I want more of a rounded neckline. Oh, I went down instead of up. There we go. So let's say I want a wide scoop. Just why not? So you're going to see the neckline change here. There we go. Okay, that's not bad, right? We're happy with that, maybe, maybe not. Or we can really just go for the sweetheart neckline. Just stick classic. What's nice is you don't need to make the decision until you're all done and you're staring at it and going, that's the dress I want. So that's better. Okay, so we're going to stick with the sweetheart neckline. Let's see if we have a full length sleeve with a little bit of ruffle at the bottom. So let's see. Let's see what we have. All right, here. So there we go. So maybe we want to do something like that. Maybe we want a double ruffle. Can you have too many ruffles? Depend on which period you're asking. So here's the double ruffle. So let's stick with this. I quite like the double ruffle, the sweetheart neckline, the long full dress with the princess seams that are coming from the armpit area. It's a nice dress. It's fun. Will it fit me? Not unless I put my measurements in. So before I go to hit custom fit, let's just take a look at some of these buttons up here. So specs, I think that that's not available for free. It is. So here's my sewing specs. And I can change it to inches. So it gives you all the specs for this particular dress. And then here is the fit model specs. So this is the model it should fit. When I did this program last, I was slightly bigger. So these were my measurements right here. But I have since stopped breastfeeding and at least one of those measurements has gone down. But these were to my measurements. So it does let you have the sewing specs for free. I don't know if that's available with every pattern, but at least this is. So ease, we can go ahead and click that. So this is the fit pattern. So this is the ease that's built into it. There's really no ease really built into it because it's a no stretch woven. If it was a stretch fabric, you would see more in there. Okay. And then we're going to go to sewing. These are your sewing instructions. I don't typically follow them, but they're here. They're here if you want them. I find this particular dress relatively simple to put together because I've done it before. If it was a new type of dress or something with a lot more parts, I definitely would take a look at the instructions. But this is just a type of dress I've made a lot, so I don't read them quite as often. But you see there's some nice diagrams. It's a really useful program with that. I don't think that they have anything in general techniques or terms yet. Yep. Going to say I don't think that changed since the last time I've been on here. Yardage, I will say that it wasn't accurate when I made my last dress, but we'll go ahead and click on it. I don't know if I get this one for free anymore. Yeah, no. So this action's not available. I think it would be available if I went ahead and bought this pattern. My last pattern that I did get off here, I think it told me I needed 10 yards. And I did the dress with 7 or 8, and I added a 3-foot train. So they were not right. I don't know if they had stuff in there for lining that wasn't written in the instructions, but they might have meant for me to fully line it and just not have written it in. I don't know, but I did not need 10 yards. So something to consider. Here's your help if you need help. Your download button, if you want to download. I have no more downloads, so I'm not going to go ahead and hit that button. 3D, I don't have access to this because I am not a paying member, and it's also a beta product, which means that's still under production, so it might not be exact. But if you want to upgrade, that might be a very useful thing for you. Okay. If I want to make any of these things go away, I can click those. If I want to buy the pattern, it's down here. To subscribe is down here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit custom fit. Okay, so this is me. I'm going to add somebody new in inches. I'm going to call them test. So let's make them, let's see, 5. 5 seems like a normal height. Bust circumference. Okay. Why don't we make this a larger lady? We'll do that. The under bust circumference, let's do that. Upper arm circumference, I have no idea what would be considered normal, but just for the heck of it, let's just do that. Waist circumference, let's do, I don't know, let's do that. We're just having fun at this point, right? So let's do that. And let's up this. Let's just make it more because why not? Neck circumference. Oh, here's knee circumference. I don't know. What's the circumference of someone's knee? Let's make it that. Neck circumference. So let's just do that. Shoulder width. I don't know. I don't remember putting any of these in. Let's just over double it. Wrist circumference. I'm guessing I didn't need this for my other pattern, but I don't remember. Let's just double it. Let's just double almost everything. Back width, let's just do 30 because why not? And then we get into things that are still necessary. So we're just doubling things. Because why not? Let's do that. So this has belly protuberance. So these are the different. So let's just go with, I don't know, let's pick D. It's in the middle. And then buttocks. Let's go. We're doing a curvy lady. So let's do curvy. So let's do that. So let's see. Click out of this. Okay, Okay, so we're going to change this to test. So we're going to see these change. There you go. So we saw them change. So let's go ahead. Let's go back to custom fit. Let's see if they have a standard size. Okay. So let's do a standard size. I think 14 is average in America now. I don't know, but let's do that. So we saved. We're going to use that. So we're going to see this change. Okay. So there we go. So this would be like an average sized American woman, if I got that right, theoretically. So yeah, that's what's nice about this. You'll see who it's for. If we want to change it back to me, we can go ahead and do that. You'll see it change again. There we go. Okay. So you saw that it got shorter because I'm shorter. So there we go. So that's a lot about Tailornova. You could always go to here. You can call that test design. You can hit save. It will save it to your profile. You can close. Here's your upgrade now button, which was hidden under my face, at least on my screen. And then here's my account. So it saves my designs, my models, my fabrics I can save, and here's some settings. I didn't really get into everything over here, but a lot of it is self-explanatory. Your back closure, you're going to do a zipper, you're going to do buttons. How long is the zipper? How long are the buttons? Is it going to be a straight back? Now, I know I like lacing my stuff because I like the fantasy medieval aspect of it. I normally just choose one of these and then instead of buttons or zipper, I lace. So you're just going to have to work those into your patterns. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have a good option for that. Let's see if it has our ruffles. Yeah, still no ruffles. Pockets. So you can put inseam pockets and you can kind of see them appear. You'll at least see them over here. Yeah, so here's the pocket and you can kind of see they tried to highlight that. So now I have pockets. Buttons feature is not something I can do yet. Peplums, not something I can do, and belts, not something I can do. You can choose the color. I never do this, but say you want to make a purple dress because royalty, that's what it looks like in purple. So let's go back to white because I like seeing where my lines are. You could also take a look at the fabrics. I do not know where they pulled these from, but I guess if you want to see it in different types of fabric, you can do that. This one's kind of lacy, fantasy-ish, I guess. Let's see if it actually is once it gets to it. Maybe not. There we go. Again, not sure if it's my internet or the website. I am doing this via a screen share on Zoom, so I'm sure that's affecting some things. But yeah, so this is Tailornova in a nutshell. I think it's a very useful program. I enjoy it a lot. To get rid of that, you just click that and it will go away eventually. I enjoy it. I think it's very useful. I've considered subscribing if I start doing more of random types of designs. I probably will subscribe because I'll get my money's worth. 3 patterns and you've gotten your money's worth. So I'll consider that. If that's something you do, you might want to consider it. If you design for multiple people in a household or have multiple sizes you design for, this might be very much worth it because it will print to your model's size. So that's something very much to consider. When you're taking measurements, as always, like try to wear whatever undergarments you're going to be wearing under it. So if you're going historical undergarments, corset can change your shape a little bit. So make sure you take your measurements with the corset if you want it to fit it to that body shape, or if you're wearing a bra, that you're not wearing a bra. So whatever you want to wear underneath, keep that in consideration when you take your measurements. But otherwise, this is our little medieval dress. We can go ahead and close this. So there we go. That's our technical sketch, and then here is our pattern for it. I hope this was helpful, that you enjoyed this. Take a look at our other videos, which are going to appear somewhere on the screen, probably around here. And if you would like, feel free to subscribe. I want to thank Sewing for Renaissance Festivals for putting together a YouTube channel, and we'll see how it grows, but please subscribe. And I'm supposed to say something about hitting little bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we upload anything. But that feels kind of awkward, which is the look on my face. Okay, until next time, again, my name is Kate. I hope you found this useful. Bye.